I recently started building a cutting platform for my DIY saw guide with a sheet of plywood, so I can make repeat cuts more conveniently. I also wanted to add dog holes for mounting a fence and accessories. But I quickly found out that drilling those holes evenly and square is harder than it seems. So, I designed and 3D printed this drilling template to make the job a lot easier. To use the template, first mark the position of the first hole. I want mine to be 50 mm from the long edge and 100 mm from the other edge of the board. The template arm is 50 mm wide, and the center of the hole is 25 mm from the edge. So I can set my square to 25 mm, and use it to position the template accurately, and keep it perfectly parallel with the long edge of the plywood. Once everything is aligned, clamp the template to the plywood. Double-check the position of the template carefully, to make sure it's exactly where you want it, and hasn't shifted while clamping. Also, confirm that it's perfectly square to the edge of the board. Take your time with this step, because this first set of holes will be the reference for the rest of the board. On the short side of the board, in my case, the distance from the edge to the template should be 75 mm. Now I can start drilling the first holes, using a 3/4 inch Forstner bit. Since I don't have a support sheet underneath, I'm not drilling all the way through, to avoid tear out. Instead, I just drill deep enough to leave a mark on the other side. After finishing all the holes, I'll flip the board over and drill from the opposite side to complete them cleanly. Once you've drilled all the holes you need in the current position, move the template to the next one. I use a 3D printed dog to align it with one of the holes I just drilled, and I use the same combination square, still set to 25 mm from the first step, to keep the template parallel to the edge. I didn't drill every hole on the board. I kept the holes spaced at 100 mm intervals, only in the rows and columns near the fence and the cutting line. For the rest of the board, I decided to drill every other hole, instead of all of them. Now you can repeat the same process across the rest of the board. Just reposition the template step by step, and continue drilling each new set of holes in the same careful way, to maintain even spacing and alignment. For the inner areas of the board, you can also use a long straight edge as a guide. It makes aligning the template much easier and more accurate, especially in areas where using a square isn't possible. The 3D printed dog is 25 mm long, with an M6 hole. It also has extra space on one side, for an M6 hot melt insert nut. So I can use it to mount accessories to the table later on. The template shown in the video is the first version. It has a large bevel on the top side. But after I used it, I found that when I flipped it over, it was hard to use with a combination square. So in the final version I uploaded, I changed the design to have a small bevel on both sides. That way, I can use it comfortably on either side with a thin combination square. Between each 19mm hole, I also included a 4.3mm center mark. You can use these as drill guides, or to help locate the exact center between the dog holes. And that's it. This simple 3D printed template makes drilling dog holes so much easier and more accurate. And it's been super useful for my projects. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give the video a like, and subscribe for more DIY builds like this.